Meet the Vixen 21TD, the genius motorhome that nobody wanted. This motorhome could hit about 100 miles per hour, claimed around 30 miles per gallon, and fit inside a normal garage. So why did the company that built it disappear in just 3 years? Well, let's take a look. The Vixen was designed by William Bill Collins Jr., the engineer connected to the Pontiac GTO and DeLorean's number 2 man. He wanted a driver's motorhome, so it used a rear-mounted BMW diesel and a Renault 5-speed manual transaxle from the same family as the DeLorean gearbox. One surviving Vixen even showed up in the Netherlands with a logbook where an owner had tracked every single refueling. It turns normal people into fuel economy accountants. But there are 2 catches hiding in plain sight. One is near the driver's seat. The other is near the price tag. Keep both in mind. So if the Vixen was this good, why did nobody want it? Let's start outside.
Motorhome luxury.
From the first look, you can see why buyers were confused. A normal motorhome in the 1980s looked tall, square, and heavy. The Vixen looked low, smooth, and suspiciously sleek. But that strange shape was the point. The Vixen's fiberglass body was developed with wind tunnel thinking, and early TD models had a drag coefficient under 0.30. For something with a bed and bathroom, that was ridiculous in the best way. That immediately helps you too. While many Vate motorhomes were fighting the air and drinking fuel in the single digits, this thing slipped through the wind. You are driving a 21-foot motorhome that claimed around 30 miles per gallon, with owners often even reporting high 20s numbers. Now look at the size. People saw the low roof and assumed it was too small to be serious. But closed, the Vixen sits around 6 feet tall, stretches about 21 feet long, and weighs roughly 5,100 pounds dry. This means the Vixen passes what we will call the garage door test. You finish a weekend trip, pull into your driveway, and put the motorhome away like a standard car, completely avoiding the storage lots, fees, and neighbor speeches required by most RVs. But if the Vixen was this brilliant and practical, why did nobody want to buy it? Keep that question in mind, because you are going to want to hear the surprising answer at the end. Move around the driver's side and the packaging gets stranger. A buyer could assume this low body had to be cramped or impossible to service. But the Vixen hides systems along the sides, instead of hanging a bulky drivetrain underneath. The lockable external freshwater filler door is positioned here. The dump connector and valves sit behind the left rear body flap, with the gray and black tanks under the galley and bathroom floors. That gives you a cleaner travel shape without making maintenance feel like punishment. The gray tank was about 18 gallons, the black tank about 12, and the fresh tank about 25 gallons under the front passenger seat. The body construction makes the same case. People might see the smooth shell and think it was just styling, but the shell was molded in 3 large fiberglass pieces, meaning fewer seams than ordinary campers. Years later, you aren't buying an old camper just to find cabinets attached to damp oatmeal. The front is useful too. With no engine up there, the bonnet gives access to driving heater and air conditioning hardware, the brake master cylinder, and some gear space where most RVs are just hot engine noise. Looking at the sides, you'll also notice there is essentially no exterior storage. Because the vehicle sits so low to the ground to fit into a garage, it lacks the traditional storage bays or basements most RVs have, offering only a narrow pass-through compartment originally designed for snow skis. Then you reach the rear, and this is the first big reveal. Most people expect a motorhome this small to have a normal van engine up front. But open the back, and there is a BMW M21 2.4-liter inline-six turbodiesel mounted behind the cabin. That makes the Vixen a tiny diesel pusher, the same idea people now associate with large luxury coaches, just shrunk into something garageable. The engine made about 115 horsepower and around 162 pound-feet of torque, so it wasn't a drag strip monster. But it could cruise, return serious fuel economy, and give the Vixen a layout nobody expected in 1986. The performance claim wasn't just brochure fantasy either. Modern owners have radar-verified Vixens around 100 miles per hour at land speed events. Imagine pulling into a campsite beside an old gas RV. They open a side compartment. You open the rear and reveal a BMW diesel. Honesty is important here. The Renault transaxle makes the story cooler, but parts aren't corner store easy. That's the price of something this unusual. The benefit is that the whole machine feels engineered as a vehicle first, not just a box dropped onto a chassis. Would you have chosen the cool factor despite the downside? Let us know in the comments. Up top, the closed roof is another trick people misunderstood. From outside, it looks like a compromise. Too low, too odd, and nothing like the tall RVs buyers knew. But this roof refuses to make you choose between road manners and living space. To maintain its sleek aerodynamics on the road without sacrificing interior standing room, the roof features a massive fiberglass pop-up section. Rather than lifting straight up on 4 posts like a traditional camper, the Vixen's roof is hinged entirely along the driver's side. When you park, the passenger side of the roof pushes upward, opening on an angle like a giant clamshell. Once it's lifted, rigid panels with built-in screens lock into place to fill the gap, letting a breeze flow through the motorhome. On the passenger side, the entry is low and simple. For someone nervous about giant motorhomes, that's important every time they park, fuel, or walk up to the door. So the outside already broke every rule. The inside is where it gets ridiculous, so let's get right in. Step inside and the first assumption disappears. People thought the low body meant you would crouch around like you were apologizing to the ceiling. Instead, the floor is strategically lowered about 6 inches right where you step in, which saves a significant amount of vertical space. When you combine that sunken floor with how the pop-up roof pivots upward from the driver's side, the interior gives roughly 6'6" standing height. On the road, the Vixen stays low and aerodynamic. Now we reach the first catch. Sit in the driver's seat and there it is, a 5-speed manual gearbox. In the 1980s, that was a problem. RV buyers wanted automatics. They wanted to point the motorhome at Florida and let the transmission think. But for the right driver, that manual is why the Vixen feels special today. It is part of why people called it the driver's RV and the sports car of motorhomes. The low center of gravity, wide stance, and small footprint all work with that gearbox instead of against it. Now think that your partner is scared of a big RV. Wide corners, body lean, bad mirrors, all of it. The Vixen still has age and quirks, but it is low and planted enough that the person who hates big campers might actually take the wheel without white knuckles. Behind the cab, the living area keeps fighting the too small accusation. The seating can form a 4-seat dinette, and the dinette folds into a bed around 78 inches long. In the back, there is a permanent double bed, so the TD sleeps up to 4 people. That's the difference between small and incomplete. Small means you plan the space. Incomplete means you leave out what people need at night. The Vixen gives you a place to eat, sit, work, and sleep without stretching the body. In family travel, the kids can take the converted dinette, while the rear bed stays made. In the morning, you bring the table back, make breakfast, and the RV becomes a tiny living room again. No cushion puzzle ruins your day before coffee. The galley is the same story. People would expect a vehicle this low to give up the kitchen first. But the Vixen TD could include a sink, alcohol cooktop option, refrigerator, microwave, cabinets, and proper power support for the era. The TD didn't use propane for cooking or heat, which was unusual but very Vixen. There's even a 4 cubic foot Norcold refrigerator running on 12-volt DC or 110-volt AC. The microwave was listed around 600 watts, backed by a 1200-watt inverter and shore power charging. A duotherm 110-volt air conditioner was also available for plugged-in camping on hotter weekends too. Although all these seem to vary by unit. Anyways, point is, you can keep food cold, heat leftovers, wash dishes, and cook without treating the trip like survival training. Toward the rear, the bathroom makes the same point, just quieter. Small motorhomes often treat the bathroom like an afterthought. The Vixen TD had a compact wet bath with a toilet, sink, shower, and water systems for real travel, including separate waste handling instead of pretending every stop will have perfect facilities. That changes the actual experience. You can stop overnight without depending on every campground building. You can travel with kids, bad weather, or late arrivals, and still have the basics inside. A small RV bathroom matters when the bathhouse is closed, wet, or a long walk away. At the very back, the permanent bed sits above the rear engine area. Some people may call that strange, but it gives the Vixen one of its best daily life advantages. The main bed stays made. Storage included removable baskets, a wardrobe opposite the bathroom, lower galley space, space below the rear passenger seat, and dashboard glove boxes. After a long drive, you park, raise the roof, brush your teeth, and go to bed. No table lowering or cushions sliding around. In a small motorhome, a permanent bed feels like luxury. So you would expect the final story to be compromise. Wrong. The Vixen did things most RVs of its time could not do. It was low, efficient, garageable, self-contained, and genuinely interesting to drive. The market punished it because the idea arrived early. Then comes the second catch: the price. The Vixen sold in a range that could reach about $53,000 in the mid-1980s, roughly $150,000 today. A conventional competitor could sit closer to $30,000. Buyers were being asked to pay luxury money for a smaller motorhome with a manual transmission and a shape their neighbors did not understand. That price, plus the manual, hurt it badly. The engineering gave the Vixen its genius, but buyers saw problems. Too low, too strange, too expensive, too much shifting. Now those same things are why people want one. The tale of production proves it. About 300 original TD models sold in the first 2 years, and 587 total Vixens were built across the TD, XC, and SE versions. The XC became a lounge with seating for up to 9. The SE added a GM 3.8-liter V6, a 4-speed automatic, and a fixed raised roof. Those later versions made sense on paper, but they moved away from the original magic: diesel efficiency, low height, and the garage door test. When the Vixen became more normal, it also became less Vixen. The redemption came later regardless. The Vixen won the Industrial Design Society of America's Industrial Design Excellence Award in 1986, becoming the first non-automobile to win it. It was nearly named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list in 1988. The company folded in 1989 after fewer than 600 were built. Today, clean survivors are hunted. Values often sit around the $30,000 to $40,000 range and climb with condition and rarity. There is even an active Vixen Owners Association with roughly 138 members, and owners have discussed an electric Vixen too. The market that rejected it now fights over the survivors. So failure is the wrong label. The Vixen 21 TD arrived before buyers were ready for a small, efficient, garageable, driver-focused motorhome. Would you take the strange BMW-powered Vixen? Or would the garage door test still send you back to a normal RV? Let us know in the comments. Want to see a Korean motorhome that shakes the RV industry to its core? If so, click on the video on your screen and we will see you soon at a brand new luxury motorhome.